Good afternoon, everybody. It's Brian Oshop here from Teleris, welcoming you to, I guess, season 2 of the coffee um, uh, chats in isolation, and our second video or webinar in this series today with a couple of premier suppliers of Teleris. And I'm happy you made the time to show up today. And this further, again, emphasizes the education component and the learning component that we want you be presenting to you often, and aligning you with tools and capabilities to sell more to your customers, and using our support tools and our engineers, our product people, and as well as our suppliers. So before we get started, I just wanted to take a minute and pop up a couple of things that we saw last week for those of you who were on the call. Roger Blom last week, sorry, I have to get that back now. There we go, sorry about that. Roger Blom, our EVP of strategy and business development, talked about the digital transformation consulting roadmap. And if you weren't on the call, this is something that we should talk about, and we'll continue to emphasize as we move through this series of 6 webinars, and welcome Roger back for module 2 last week. But remember, these were conversation frameworks, and these were starters with your customers around, network optimization, edge compute strategy, cloud strategy, distributed security, customer experience, application optimization, and operational optimization. So that's a mouthful, and it seems like some complicated stuff. But Roger really did a great job, I thought, in talking about how infrastructure and applications tie together, and how these conversations these starter points will spark conversations for your customers. So I won't go any more there, and I do owe you guys this slide, and I will send it out to everybody at the end of the webinar today. Secondly, real quickly, I just wanted to reinforce with everybody that some of the key Canadian supplier relationships we have here at Teleris. And I know that when I'm speaking with you, we're talking about these in terms of the swim lanes that you may be playing in today or want to get into. But I just want everybody just to take a look at, again, some of the, I call them key. This isn't all, but I call them key relationships that we have in these 6 areas. And I want to emphasize to you that these are the sort of industry leading, let's call them Gartner-esque, starting 5, et cetera, suppliers that have super strong and wicked technology, great partner programs, really good compensation, and they support all of our Teleris initiatives. And 2 of them, Converge and Intrado, you're going to meet today. So one of the key things that, for me and a supplier partner, is that they have capability, to bill in Canadian dollars, and they have boots on the ground here in Canada. So that makes it easier for you guys and gals to communicate with them and get the support that you're looking for as a Teleris sales partner. So that's all that I want to talk about today in terms of that. And at the same time, I want to introduce what's happening today. So today we're lucky. We have 2 really great supplier partners with us today. We have Convergia and Intrado. And you may not be well versed in the solutions offered by each of these providers, but they cover a great spectrum of network, trunking, collaboration, unified communications, 911 services, et cetera. So really things that are really important today in not just the pandemic environment, but today that customers are asking for. So we're going to start off with Convergia. They're going to have a 15-minute coffee chat with you, and encourage everybody as usual to put questions in the chat. I'll monitor that, and we have a Q&A at the end of the session, and we have some prizes and a secret incentive launch that we're going to talk about at the end of the presentation as well. So from Convergia, we have Dante Passalacqua and Mutlek Armov. And Dante is going to do most of the presentation today. He's their VP of Technology. And Mutlek is their channel manager, really responsive, really on top of his game, and he's headquartered out of Montreal. So with that, I'll pass it over to you, Dante. And I guess you already have it. Perfect.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, can you hear me? Perfect.
Yeah, we can.
Perfect, excellent. You should be seeing my screen. Can you please confirm?
Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, we can see your screen.
Perfect, excellent. Thanks a lot, Brian. Thanks a lot. We are very enthused to be here with you, with Telaris and all your partners. And I wanted to share this a nice success case that we did recently, and I believe it's quite good for the times that we're living right now. So I titled this how new use cases are forcing us to rethink wireless connectivity. And the idea is that in the times that we all know we're living, we find new uses for the wireless connectivity. So before that, allow me to give you a super brief introduction of who we are. Convergia, we call ourselves a Pan-American connectivity company, meaning what? That we are a multinational telecom company, but we are super focused on all Pan America. That includes North America, Central and South America. I mean, in other ways, all the way from Canada up to Chile and Buenos Aires. And as Brian mentioned, we have local presence, in very big local presence in Canada, but also in many other countries. So we were founded in 1998, going on 22 years now. We cover, our headquarters are coincidentally in Montreal, Canada, just outside of Canada, Point Claire. We have technology that covers 50 or more countries. Our team it's more than 500 strong, and we have 30 plus certified engineers in multiple different technologies. We have offices in 20 plus locations throughout the Pan American continent. Our portfolio is quite extensive. In total, we have more than 100 different flavors of products. And you can see here the big pillars: connectivity and cloud, data and security, and voice. So today we're going to be focusing in just one portion of the portfolio, specifically in the part of connectivity. Regarding wireless connectivity, everybody knows that we use wireless connectivity for almost everything nowadays, but there are many ways, many new forms of connectivity that are emerging. Probably some of you have heard about, most likely within the IoT realm, like new protocols like LoRaWAN or Zigbee or others similar to those. There are very nice protocols that are designed to make the best possible use of the bandwidth, as small bandwidth, and for especially dedicated for low power device, meaning that you can plug a battery in a small module and it will run completely autonomous for 10 years probably. But the reality of it is that till this day, these protocols, Zigbee, LoRaWAN, are very limited in coverage. Today, we have to face a reality, which is that 4G LTE remains the most widespread protocol still, meaning that if you want to have a real wireless connectivity, most likely you will end up having to deal with 4G LTE no matter what. Oh, and 4G LTE, it's obviously is good in the sense that it's ubiquitous. We have coverage in most part of the countries, including most part of Canada, obviously. But it comes with some caveats. First of all, it's used to be expensive. The reason for this is because most MNOs, and by MNOs I'm referring to mobile network operators, like it could be Rogers, Telus, Bell, etc. Most operators, they have not necessarily adapted their data plans for wireless connectivity alone. They come from a long-standing of offering this for smartphones or for tablets or for other purposes. So they are just trying to get adapted to this new use case. And in particular, you will find that most cases there's very little customized data plans for IoT. In IoT, you have it could be very low bandwidth, for example, a sensor just sending a few measures of data per hour, or it could be up, all the way up to a webcam or a CCTV cam sending a live stream video. Also, very well-known caveat of the wireless connectivity is that you cannot find a single provider that will tell you, okay, I can cover 100% of the territory that you want to deploy your solution. most likely you will have to deal with a couple of them. And also it's highly susceptible to interference, for example, in industrial and high-tech environment. If you have tried, you have heard that people trying to do wireless connectivity within a data center, it's quite complicated because all the equipment within the data center produces a lot of interference. So let's go to the use case. Now we partner with an agent in the US, and they identify one particular case that I'm going to be explaining right now. This is a company that is basically a startup, and they come up with something very interesting, software as a service, meaning that's a software obviously that you use on the cloud, but this is supposed to revolutionize how people and especially companies consume traditional data related to personal movement. For example, I cannot divulge what they do now because obviously we're under NDA and this is a startup company, but let's suffice to say that what they are doing is that they are gathering information that many people have available, but they're with that information they are doing some artificial intelligence and algorithms, and they're extracting very rich data and, for decision making using that information. The implementation calls for deploying specialized devices, small devices, but they have to be on the client premises. So the client has, I don't know, 20 locations. They need to deploy one device per location and collect the data and send it to the cloud for this sophisticated algorithms and train artificial intelligence, deep machine learning model to analyze it. So the design principles were simple, like you see there. It has to work. It has to work nationwide. Has to be inexpensive, easy and fast to deploy, reliable even under harsh conditions, like for example industrial environments. Many of their customers were manufacturers, so any solution that will not have a good signal within let's say a manufacturing plant will not work. It has to be secure because they were dealing with highly confidential information. Okay, so the challenge were the client, one of the biggest challenge here was that they faced, and this was quite surprising for the company. Imagine this situation. They were ready, they had the product ready, they wanted to launch it, and they have a couple of clients. One of the first clients that they hit, and they were facing a challenge that they did not anticipate. The client was saying, okay, all fine that you sign a contract with a company, but the chief information security offices basically block them for accessing their network. The client say, no, you cannot touch my Wi-Fi network. I will not give you access to my Ethernet network, so no connection at all whatsoever. So what they needed to do is to come up with some way to connect their devices in such a way that was, like I said, reliable and but also not touching the client's network. So the solution, it's basically a combination of specialized wireless routers. We partner with a company called Digi, and we designed this for specifically for the one router that's called the DG6330 that has without getting into too much technical detail, it's a Cat6 modem capable of moving quite some data, and it also comes with a Wi-Fi model incorporated. So we pair this device with a unique offer that Convergia has, that is the CXC SIM, which is global, meaning that you can deploy it anywhere in the world, actually. You pay just one single fee and the customized data plans, and you will be able to get that SIM working no matter where. And it has, this is the key part, it has fallback and auto selection, meaning that let's say that we build 4 profiles of within a specific SIM card. If in the SIM card, the device it's smart enough to try to pick up who has the best coverage at that location. And if they see, okay, this provider is having some issues, probably a tower is down, the signal is too low, there's too much interference, the device will automatically switch to the next best provider available. You can load up to 4 different providers. And the beauty of this is that you just pay one single data plan, but you have access to up to 4 operators. And on top of that, everything is managed from what we call the CXC systems by it's a marketing term that we use. It's connectivity by Convergia. So CXC SIM is a portal, a dedicated portal that we have that will allow any of you or your end users to manage the life cycle of the SIM card completely on the cloud. So you can order the SIM cards, you can activate them, suspend them, check where they are. If they are moving and they should not be moving, you can get an alarm. You can set limitation for the data that they are allowed to move and so on. And also we have a cloud solution that allows to remotely provision and configure all the routers. So this was ideal for this company in the sense that they could control everything remotely, and even if they train a little bit, they didn't even need a conversion intervention to be completely self-sufficient. So what we achieve is 100% independent of the client networks. This was not touching the network, the client's network at all. It was going to via the wireless, the 4G LTE. So they comply with the security. They no more issues to having to jump through hoops to get approval to use the Wi-Fi of the client. They have extended and improved coverage. Why? Because as I just mentioned, these SIM cards are smaller SIM cards, and they carry several profiles for different mobile operators in just one single SIM card. Now, the cost was significantly reduced because if you compare this to your standard retail run-of-the-mill SIM card, these were tailor-made for what they needed to do, just enough bandwidth for their application. So they ended up saving quite some money on that part. And another key part is that the router that we provide, it's a router that doesn't have to be close to the device itself. So the devices could be located in one, for example, they need to be located near the entrance and the points of any location of the client, but probably at that location you didn't have the best signal. So by decoupling the device with the router that provides the wireless connectivity, we were able to provide them with very strong signal even in harsh environment. Okay, and the deployment of this was super fast, as they could deploy clients in a matter of days instead of as opposed to weeks. So, and as a summary of this use case, and I will love to answer questions if you have any. What Convergia can do for you? First of all, we have a very comprehensive portfolio. Like I mentioned, we have 4 pillars, and those 4 pillars entail more than 100 different flavors. From your standard data, we do everything from your internet to dedicated lines, MPLS, and so on. In voice, we have several flavors, and we do SIP voice, voice over IP, SIP tracking. We offer Microsoft Teams, WebEx, etc. Also, we are very strong in SD-WAN, in IoT, and in mobility and security. The idea is that with Convergia, you get immediate access to a multidisciplinary team of experts. What I mean with this is that by working with us, you can bring us your projects and we will support you all the way. We'll help you design the project, no strings attached, nothing. It's like you don't have to commit to buy from us. It's just you give us the opportunity to work with you, and we will work with you or with your end user, and we will come up with the best possible solution integrating multiple different technologies and providers. We do custom design, like I said, without any commitments. Immediately you get assigned a channel manager, a dedicated channel manager, and a dedicated project manager. And we are very flat, and we're very proud to be a super flat organization, meaning that from the moment that you start to work and you're working with us, you get access to the C-level management, no questions asked. You will get the cell phone of everybody that you may need to contact in order to make your project or your end user project reality. So we will do feasibility studies, joint pre-sales calls and presentations, webinar, whatever it needs, whatever it takes to help you promote the solution. And like I mentioned earlier, we are a Pan American presence. We are a Pan American company. So that also is key, because we are different in the sense that through Convergia, you have access to a huge market. We find time and again that many agents are working just their existing market. For example, Canada could be, or in some cases could be Canada and the US. But many companies that you probably are touching, they may have also presence in Latin America. And it could be very interesting if you just ask them if they have any needs for telecom or IT services in Latin America. Trust me, you will be surprised that more often than not, you will receive a yes. We have operations in Latin America, but because of lack of the correct partner, they don't address those. So through Convergia, you have access to this huge market, which is to give you an idea, it's about $6 billion in annual expense in telecom and IT. So the idea is, the message is, please contact us, and we can make your project a success working together. Also, with me on the call, we have Mulek Amber, our senior channel manager for Canada, and he can also tell you a little bit about our pricing, and I believe he has also some interesting announcement to make. Mulek?
So why don't we keep that for the end, Mulek, if you don't mind, just because I want to introduce the Intrado team. So gracias, Dante. That was very well done. I guess from my perspective, the more I talk to the Convergia team, the more I learn about them. And you know, they as you can see, I mean, they highlighted an IoT and a wireless solution today, but they've got, you know, a lot of armaments and a lot of characteristics that the major carriers do here. So they're a good Canadian company, and they're a good one to have, you know, in your arsenal for your customers as well.